Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer 1141-1 in 606. This is a double flange mounting bracket in a satin brass finish, and this is the actual genuine article. This weighs almost 1 pound, or at least it does with its box and its mounting package. So it's a heavy piece of cast solid brass in a 606 finish. 606 means two things. It means three things. It means it's made of solid brass. It means that it is in a satin brass type finish. And the third, it means that it has a lacquer covering it. So there's a lacquer coating over it. We can see a small amount of evidence of the lacquer here, a little bit of overspray on the product. But there it is. Now, this is lavatory hardware, and Bommer has an entire catalog section, which is linked to down below on their lavatory hardware. And where will you see these? Well, you're going to see them in high-end hotels. You're going to see them in high-end applications like that. Law libraries is where I've seen these as well. High-end sort of lavatory applications. So some dimensions: 3.5 inch wide on the base. The height of the base about an inch and just shy an inch and a half. Overall projection about 3 5/16. This ought to be for 3/4 inch panels. Indeed. Gonna get the caliper just to satisfy my curiosity of what that actually measures. .799 at the base. And it's closer to 0.775. 0.775 here, 0.799 here. So 0.8 inch basically, and 0.775 up at the top. Okay. Now this will include fasteners. So for the wall, they're going to set us up with 2 lead anchors and 2 machine bolts. Okay. So that's what they've got in mind for you there. So be mindful. That is a brass bolt. Okay. Lead anchors. A typical Phillips drive is what's going to be on there. Then, for securing through the panel, you're going to have, I think the proper term for this would be a binder post. You're going to have a total of 4 of these one-way style brass female portion of the binder post. It might, sex bolt's probably not correct to call this, even though the term sex bolt does apply. Okay. There you go. Obviously that's going to go through your material. Get my finger out of the way. Couple of additional dimensional properties on that. The outside diameter of the head, 0.426. And again, that's a one-way, a slotted one-way. If you ever try to remove those, people look at that and feel that it's not tamper resistant. I assure you it is. I've tried to remove those. It's a lost cause, in my opinion. The diameter of the body of the female portion, 0.25, 1/4 inch, right on the nose. Then let's take the threaded portion, the threaded rod. That has a diameter of 0.184 diameter with a length of 0.755. 0.755 is the length of that. And of course, this is available in different finishes. Speaking of finishes, this is available in lots of finishes. And the reason I say lots of finishes is because Bommer can do lots of finishes. 30 plus finishes. Now, not all of them would be done, not all of those finishes, of course, are done on solid brass base material, but anything that can be done on brass, Bommer can, not anything, but typical standard finishes that can be done on brass, Bommer can do. Your brasses, your bronze, your chromes, satin, polished, oil rubbed bronze. They can probably bright black Japan this, even though you would do that on a steel-based material. So anything that can be done on brass, they have their own plating facility. Literally, it's a standalone structure. That's all they do there is finishing. So, you know, again, your brasses, your bronze, your chromes, your nickels, satin polished, oil rubbed bronze they can do. So that's, you know, plenty, lots of finishes. If you have need for a custom finish, let us know, and we'll ask Bommer if they can do it. I know that they're not doing powder coating currently, but, you know, that may change. I don't know, but at the time of this video, I know that they're not doing powder coating. So let's switch to the screen view and take a closer look at the supporting documentation. Okay, so here is the item that we are looking at. Double flange mounting bracket, satin brass. And that's what the 606 means, satin brass. For 3/4 partition only, cast brass. They give dimensions. Comes with 4 through bolts and AJs. That's a reference to the lead anchor. An AJ, I believe, is called a... that's term for... yeah, I don't see that coming up as a search result. I've heard people refer to masonry anchors as AJs. It just, I quite frankly, all those folks were old timers, so to speak. So it might be a term like that. You know, I need some AJs, and I think what they're referring to is an anchor that you would install. Here we go. Brick anchors, concrete fasteners, AJs. Okay, so machine screw anchors, often called AJs or lead anchors. They require a setting tool that has national coarse threads. They are available in 8 diameters. Okay, so this random site that I pulled up, concrete fasteners, they know them as, you know, they know that as an AJ. I don't, you know, I believe that's just a bit of a more archaic term. However, if someone said to me an AJ, I would get the idea that they're talking about a lead anchor for a masonry application. Okay. Now the setting tool is when you drill this hole, and actually I should have given you dimensions on the lead anchor. I didn't. I will when we switch back. It does require a setting tool. It has national coarse threads, and that when you drill the hole, you have to set that. You have to set that down into the hole that you've drilled. So you push it in, and there's a tool for doing that. You know, it's a setting tool, but you know, anything will act as a setting tool. The setting tool really is nothing other than, you know, a large piece of steel, okay, that you basically strike here, and your anchor, you know, kind of fits in there, and that sleeve portion is out here. An awful drawing, but you get the concept. And then you drive that down into, you know, into what you're installing it into, the masonry, with the setting tool. That's what that is. Okay, let's continue on. And obviously, if you have a need for an alternative bolt type there, let us know, and we'll work with the manufacturer to see what else they can come up with. I'm sure there must be, you know, some other type of anchor that you might use. But because this is holding, you know, a partition or a urinal screen or, you know, whatever sort of screen or partition you're putting up, obviously you're going to need an anchor sufficient for doing the job, since it's very likely that that screen or the panel or the partition's not going to rest on the floor. Cut sheet here, it's really more of a technical drawing than a cut sheet. And this will indeed allow us to review all of the dimensional properties of what we've just gone over, and in addition to that, the information I haven't provided, which was the location of the holes for the panel and then the location of the bolts to the wall. Okay. Now, there is a link below this video to the product catalog, to the cut sheet as well, and the product catalog is first. It's a 4-page document allowing you to look at all of the lavatory hardware from Bommer, and I would obviously very much recommend that you review this. If you're buying this 1141-1, it's very likely there'll be other pieces that you require. If you're, this client has bought a whole mess of lavatory hardware. They're clearly doing a project that has, well, I can tell from the quantity of hinges and strikes and rim bolts that there are 4 partitions, 4 coat and hat hooks. They've equipped this entire lavatory with Bommer material. And they've obviously referred to the catalog to pull all that information up. They bought full surface hinges. They bought the double and single brackets. They bought the rim strike. They bought the rim bolt, which I think is here. One of these, it might be the 10, I can just look at it. They bought the 15004, which is here. Okay. So anyway, here's our cut sheet. You can see the other brackets listed here. They also bought some of the U brackets. Okay, and then the entire product catalog. So I would definitely suggest that you review it. Bommer's format is simple and straightforward. That's all there is to it. Okay, then you specify the finish, really. That's all. Okay, so there are 3 documents listed down below. Speaking of down below, there is a link down below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Bommer products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to their full product catalog. And their full product catalog is definitely a catalog that you might want to review. Lavatory hardware from Bommer is not, I know them for lavatory hardware, but I think most people will know Bommer for spring hinges. They're most likely primarily their 3029 series of double-acting spring hinges. Is probably what they're most known for. Everything when it comes to a spring hinge, Bommer can do single acting, double acting, but they do more than that. They do commercial grade hinges. They do aluminum continuous geared hinges. Obviously that lavatory hardware, storm door hinges, wooden screen door hinges, these door bumpers as well, and a trip through their catalog would be enlightening at least. They have these double acting pivots. Those have been around for who knows, a century and longer. And Bommer is the company that basically invented the product category. The time that you see these double acting units are courtroom doors. The half doors that are in a courtroom, you'll very often see these. Very often. Gate springs. So if you're looking at anything spring assisted, you're going to want to go to this catalog immediately and straightforward. Okay, let's wrap up this video on camera. Okay, now in conclusion, the name Bommer is synonymous with high quality hardware such as this. A lot of solid brass material is certainly what they do. Most of their products have the Bommer logo on it. This does not, and I can certainly understand why it doesn't. It would be nice to see it stamped on the back. The point of it is the majority of their product line has their logo, and what it says right above it is Made in USA, a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to represent them. Speaking about pride, and back to their plating plant, fun fact about Bommer, they have their plating plant on the North and South Carolina border. I think the plating plant is just south in South Carolina. The main factory is just north in North Carolina. A plating plant is, and it is indeed in that facility where they can produce a wide variety of finishes, over 30, 33, something in that range. Fun fact about their plating facility, they are very proud about how clean, an environmentally clean operation that they, run there, conduct. The wastewater that the plant ejects is cleaner than the local municipal water supply. And there's nothing wrong with the local water there in that northern part of South Carolina. That's just how clean of an operation that they operate there at Bommer. Again, there's something they're quite proud of. And again, as am I to represent them. Any questions on that 1141-1? 4? 1141-1. They have a -4 as well, so it's a -1. A lavatory panel partition bracket, double bracket, or any other, double flange bracket, or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.